Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to 168 Hours, your weekly roundup of the top local stories. I'm Muhammad Imad, your host for the evening. Stay tuned. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz calls on the people to maintain the positive changes that Ramadan brings to their behavior and relationships even beyond the holy month. He made the remark in his message to the nation on the occasion of the beginning of Ramadan, offering his best wishes to the people.
In his address, the President highlighted the significance of Ramadan, the month in which the Holy Quran was revealed and which includes the blessed night of Laylat al-Qadr. He stated that fasting during Ramadan, the focus on worship, the assistance extended to others and the patience and kindness practiced during the month are valuable nourishment for both the body and soul. Describing Ramadan as a cherished guest that visits once a year, the President emphasized the importance of sustaining the positive transformations of Ramadan throughout one's life. He urged to make Ramadan a month when good examples are set for the country's children and youth by fostering virtuous behavior. He also suggested using Ramadan as an opportunity to taking the first step towards avoiding self-harmful habits such as smoking, noting that fasting already requires abstinence from food and drink during daylight hours. The President also urged the citizens to strengthen family bonds, respect their neighbors, and fulfill the rights of those around them. He stressed that the success of the people is directly linked to Islam, reminding Maldivians have much to be thankful for, including many blessings, peace, and mercy from the Lord. He also encouraged empathy for Muslims in distress and asked to remember them in prayers while expressing gratitude for favors. In his address, the President also assured the citizens that the government will accelerate the efforts to ensure shelter for all citizens, and reaffirmed the government's commitment to improving the people's lives, alleviating hardships, and fostering happiness. He stated that since the Maldives converted to Islam 898 years ago, Ramadan has been held in special esteem in the hearts of the people. He said the preparations made by the people to meet this holy month, as well as their beautiful character during Ramadan, adds to the country's culture and heritage. The President further stated that the government is working continuously to address the basic needs of the people and improve their quality of life. He affirmed that the government would introduce initiatives each Ramadan to bring comfort and ease to the people, setting examples of compassion and generosity. Some initiatives by the government to support citizens during Ramadan include the closure of government offices for the last 10 of Ramadan, allowing for greater focus on worship. Additionally, the government has been providing subsidies and discounts on electricity and water bills during Ramadan.
President Dr. Mohammad Muiz outlines an ambitious plan to transform Sultan Park in Malé, incorporating modern technological advancements along with new sports and recreational facilities. The announcement came during his address at the reopening ceremony of the newly redesigned Izzuddin Jetty.
President highlighted the neglect and lack of renovation that Sultan Park has suffered in recent years, prompting the government to decide to assure jurisdiction over the park to ensure its comprehensive redevelopment and ongoing maintenance. Currently overseen by the Malé City Council, President Dr. Muiz stated that the management and operation of Sultan Park will fall under government purview soon. He detailed the administration's plan to redesign and rejuvenate the park within the next 6 months. According to the President, the proposed upgrades will preserve the Maldivian identity and include features aimed at children and youth, enhanced by technological innovations. He said these improvements will offer children new learning opportunities and foster an environment conducive to family activities. The redevelopment project will extend to the surrounding areas, including the Izzuddin Jetty and Republic Square. The President also disclosed plans to introduce recreational facilities such as a bowling alley. The last major redevelopment of Sultan Park took place under President Dr. Muiz's tenure as the Housing Ministries in a previous administration, when the park was renamed Rasrani Bagicha and equipped with numerous new amenities and recreational activities for children. In the past 5 years, the park has seen no significant updates aside from the reversion of its name to Sultan Park. Expressing concern over the current state of Sultan Park, President reaffirmed his commitment to revitalizing this important community space.
President Dr. Mohammad Muiz declares that for the first time in Maldivian history, a flat recipient list has been released free from influence and interference. He made the remarks while speaking at a function held at the Republic Square following the redevelopment and inauguration of the Izzuddin Jetty.
Early on February 27, the government published the list of applicants who met the criteria to be eligible for 4,000 flats under the Gedoruveria scheme. According to the list, a total of 1,820 applicants met the eligibility criteria. Speaking regarding the list, the president highlighted that the newly released list was finalized after the Anti-Corruption Commission (ACC) reviewed issues in the list issued by the previous government and reassessed the points awarded to applicants. He noted that the list states the reasons for disqualifications or ineligibility in cases where applicants do not meet the assessment criteria. He affirmed that no applicant had been intentionally removed from the list without a reason, and that the government is committed to serving the people with equality, compassion, and justice. The president encouraged applicants not deemed eligible on the list for various reasons to submit complaints through the established procedure within the specified time frame. The president stated that once the complaint period has ended, the cases will be reviewed and the individuals who qualify for a flat will be considered. Should any flats remain, they will be allocated based on the points awarded according to the applicant's criteria. The president also assured that even if they are not included in the list released, additional housing projects would be undertaken in the Male area, providing housing opportunities for the people of Male City and all citizens aged 18 and above. The president further assured that the government would not take away any flat or land allocated to any individual. He reaffirmed his commitment to the pledge, stating that it would remain unchanged even in the future.
High Commissioner of India to the Maldives, G.K. Balasubramaniam, says that India is engaged in discussions with the Maldives government to provide assistance to promote the island nation's fisheries sector.
The government has created the Maldives Fisheries and Ocean Resources Marketing and Promotion Limited (MFORMP) with the primary task of promoting the country's fisheries sector. The company was founded with the primary objective of expanding the nation's fishing industry and enhancing its social benefits by promoting and advertising Maldivian products on the global market. This includes products from aquaculture, mariculture, and all marine sources. To boost revenue, the company will launch a distinctive brand for local fisheries, advertising it locally and in various lucrative international markets. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony of an ice plant in Gemanafushi, Gafa Alifatal, High Commissioner Balasubramaniam revealed that India was in discussion with MFORMP to collaborate on its efforts to promote Maldives fisheries. India's pledge to help promote Maldives fisheries comes at a time when the neighboring country is developing fish factories in 6 regions of the Maldives. The Indian High Commissioner said that with these efforts, India stands ready to promote Maldives fisheries and assist the government in priority areas.
In my meeting with His Excellency the Minister, we also talked about the possibility of cooperating between the agencies which export fish, because we have a Marine Products Export Development Agency in India, in Kochi, which is very close by, and your Fisheries Promotion Agency. We will be trying to forge closer relationship between them so that we can exploit and use the resources that you have effectively for the growth of Maldives.
MFORMP has plans to promote fish products in global fisheries fairs and help the fisheries sector in overcoming challenges to export products abroad.
The Maldives Zakat House announces that the collection of Zakat al-Fitr will commence on the first day of Ramadan. Zakat al-Fitr, an obligatory almsgiving for every able Muslim before the conclusion of Ramadan, is intended to enable the impoverished to partake in Eid al-Fitr festivities alongside the broader Muslim community.
The Zakat House confirmed that Zakat contributions will be accepted online starting from the first day of the forthcoming fasting month, continuing until 6 a.m. on 27th of Ramadan. There are 5 platforms available for online Zakat payments: the Diragu mobile application and Diragu Pay website, the Uridu M-Fasa application, the Maldives Islamic Bank mobile application, the Bank of Maldives mobile application, and the FahiPay mobile application, in addition to the Banderi Pay website. The Zakat House has noted that FahiPay and Banderi Pay can be utilized for Zakat payments until the final day of Ramadan. For those unable to access online resources, the Zakat House will establish Zakat collection counters at the Islamic Center to facilitate in-person payments. These counters will also operate during the final 10 days of Ramadan, which will be observed as government holidays following a decision by President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu. From the 2nd to the 20th of March, the counters will be open from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. and from the 23rd to the 30th of March, they will operate from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. In addition, individuals in the outer islands may make in-person and cash zakat payments to their respective local councils. The Zakat House has also disclosed the nisab for zakat. Typically measured in terms of staple foods, the nisab for normal rice is set at $0.78, Thailand white rice at $4.02, and red rice at $5.58. For basmati rice, the nisab is $4.80 for standard basmati rice, $6.49 for higher grade basmati rice, and $8.63 for the highest grade basmati rice. The nisab for normal flour is set at $0.65, while for atta flour it is set at $4.86.
The Minister of Islamic Affairs, Dr. Muhammad Shaheen Ali Saeed, expresses his vision to consolidate all funds under the Ministry of Islamic Affairs into a single unified fund. The minister made the statement while speaking at a ceremony held to launch the opportunity to make charitable contributions through the Maldives Inland Revenue Authority, MIRA.
In his address, Minister Shaheen said Maldivians have always been eager to spend on charity, noting their long-standing commitment to supporting Muslim communities in need across the world. However, he stressed the importance of allocating resources to address pressing issues within the Maldives as well, such as the establishment of Quran classes and centers and mosques and the construction and maintenance of mosques. The minister stated that existing funds should be merged to create a centralized fund which has the capacity to further be expanded. Such a fund must be able to produce the resources necessary to create financial capability of religious development. He said the opening of the current opportunity via MIRA is a significant step towards achieving this goal. Speaking at the ceremony, MIRA's Commissioner General of Taxation, Hassan Zarir, highlighted that the tax agency already accepts zakat payments under its systems to assist the Islamic ministry. He said the introduction of the charitable donations via Varo Pay allows individuals to contribute towards the construction and renovation of mosques and Islamic centers.
The government drafts a special law aimed at preventing pet abandonment and animal cruelty in the Maldives. The Animal Keeping and Animal Protection Bill was moved during the sitting on March 3rd by the ruling People's National Congress PNC lawmaker Muhammad Abdul Rahman on behalf of the government.
The bill is designed to streamline regulations and standards to facilitate sustainable and safe animal husbandry, breeding, buying and selling of animals in the Maldives. The draft law will establish procedures for the medical treatment of animals to ensure the health and well-being of imported and domesticated animals and to protect them from diseases transmitted to and from animals and humans. The import of animals into Maldives, possession, import and trade of animal feed and medicines will be required to be registered under this bill. Under the bill, the Minister of Agriculture and Animal Welfare is responsible for formulating animal welfare policies and enforcing the law. The bill also outlines measures to be taken for neglect, abandonment and cruelty towards animals. A fine of between $649 and $64,850 will be imposed for anyone found directly liable for the spread of a disease through animals. A fine of between $325 and $32,425 will be imposed for illegal import and export of animals. The bill also includes a fine between $649 and $6,485 for illegal breeding, keeping of animals illegally, sample fraud and violations of animal husbandry regulations. In addition, a fine between $325 and $3,242 can be imposed for animal cruelty or abandoning pets in public places. The bill also provides for a fine of between $325 and $6,485 for any offense that does not specify the exact penalty. The draft law comes amid mounting complaints of stray cats, especially around the capital Male. The increasing number of stray cats around the capital has prompted the government to establish a special cat shelter which is now in operation in Huru Male.
Minister of Economic Development and Trade Mohammad Saeed confirms that tobacco products imported from China to the Maldives would not be exempt from import duty despite the provisions of the China-Maldives Free Trade Agreement FTA. This clarification was provided in response to a written inquiry by Muhammad Ibrahim, the Member of Parliament for North Galol constituency.
Minister Saeed elaborated that while the China-Maldives FTA eliminates import duties on a broad range of products, tobacco items are specifically excluded from this exemption. He stressed that tobacco imports from China would be subject to the same import duty as those from other countries. He noted that the revenue generated from tobacco imports to the Maldives from China will be dependent on the volume of imports. Concerns were raised by MP Ibrahim regarding potential revenue losses for the state stemming from the exemption of numerous products from import duties under the FTA with China. Minister Saeed addressed these apprehensions by explaining that the duty on imports from China would be determined by the prices of the imported goods and the total revenue impact would only be assessed after 3 transactions are finalized. Addressing allegations of a decline in the Maldives import duty revenue due to the FTA with China, the minister categorically stated that these matters are unrelated. He provided further insight, highlighting the differing perspectives between the Maldives and developed countries in the context of FTA drafting and implementation. He also underscored the benefits of the FTA for the general public given the Maldives' reliances on imports. The China-Maldives FTA, which took effect in January, has significant implications for the fisheries sector. Import duties on all fisheries sector products exported from the Maldives to China have been abolished. In return, specified goods imported from China to the Maldives will also benefit from duty exemptions.
Maldives Customs Service reports an import-export revenue of $18.6 million for January.
According to customs statistics, the Maldives imported goods worth $337 million in January, a slight increase compared to the $330 million in the same period last year. However, export earnings fell by 16%, with $9.3 million recorded this January compared to $11.2 million in the previous year. As per statistics, fuel remained the Maldives' largest import expense, with $47.2 million spent on fuel imports. In January, import sources were as follows: India, $67.7 million, China, $67.6 million, United Arab Emirates, $65.2 million, Malaysia, $27.3 million, Singapore, $21.5 million. Meanwhile, export destinations were as follows: Thailand, $4.4 million, United Kingdom, $1.6 million, Vietnam, $972,763, Bangladesh, $324,254, and India, $259,403. In January, canned tuna exports generated a $1.8 million revenue, while frozen fish exports generated $4.7 million.
Minister of Health Abdullah Nazim Ibrahim states that the National Mental Health Strategic Action Plan 2025 to 2029 will ensure accessible mental health services to all citizens. The minister made the remark while speaking at a ceremony held to launch the 5-year National Mental Health Strategic Action Plan for 2025 to 2029.
The 5-year National Mental Health Strategic Action Plan 2025 to 2029 was launched by the First Lady, Madam Sajida Mohammed. The National Mental Health Strategic Action Plan serves as a roadmap to further strengthen the country's mental health system while promoting mental health by strengthening mental health services and expanding treatment options. Speaking at the launch, Minister Nazim said that the roadmap describes in detail the work that needs to be done in the mental health sector. He expressed confidence that if the plan is implemented properly, the mental health system will be further strengthened and developed. The minister further stated that a modern healthcare system is incomplete without adequate mental health services. He noted that President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's policies give high priority to mental health. He went on to state that the government has made great strides in enhancing the mental health system, including the launch of a national helpline for mental health emergencies. He said that the newly inaugurated action plan symbolizes the importance of promoting mental health as an integral part of wellness. Announcing plans to establish a dedicated center for mental health with the assistance of the Indian government, the minister said preparations are already underway. He added that the services will also be expanded to the atolls. Acknowledging the World Health Organization, the United Nations Children's Fund, and the Australian government's assistance in formulating the National Mental Health Strategic Action Plan, the minister further noted the guidance and commitment extended by President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu to strengthen the health sector.
Minister of Agriculture and Animal Welfare Dr. Mariam Maria conducts an assessment of local agricultural products at the Malé Produce Market. During the visit, she engaged in in-depth discussions with farmers and vendors, delving into the challenges that they face.
According to the Agriculture Ministry, Minister Maria paid careful attention to their concerns, particularly regarding the logistical difficulties of transporting produce from the islands to the capital city. Her visit also included an exploration of the obstacles producers encounter in marketing their goods. Expanding the agricultural sector and fortifying food security are paramount priorities of President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu's administration. Minister Maria recently articulated that the administration is formulating comprehensive plans to boost youth participation in agriculture. According to the minister, these initiatives are designed to provide necessary support for young people entering the sector and empower those already involved. President Dr. Muizzu recently announced the establishment of an economic zone dedicated to agricultural development, reflecting the administration's strategic efforts. This project, set to commence this year, represents a significant step towards enhancing national food security, according to the government. In her proactive approach, Minister Maria has been visiting the outer islands to engage with farmers and other stakeholders. According to ministry sources, these visits have been instrumental in understanding the challenges they face and collaboratively discussing viable solutions.
And that's all we have for you right now. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again next week.
ಬರ್ಕಾತಿರ್ ರಮಲ ಮಹುಗೆ ಹೇ ಒಯ್ದುಮಾತ ಹುನಿಯಾ ಟಿವಿ ಬಲ್ಲವ ಲೋಬಿತ್ ರೈತುನಂ ಅರಿಸ್ಕುರಂ